Today we're going to do something that's never been done before. We're focusing exclusively on the helmets in Iron Man's armors. According to my research, I haven't seen any YouTube channel do this, which really excited me. And I spent days researching this for you. When most of us think of Iron Man's armor, we think of either the flight system or the arc reactor. But actually, the most critical part of these armors is the helmet. The helmet is crucial because it not only protects Tony Stark's face, but also has a HUD system. On top of all this, it has AI integration and a mechanical opening and closing system, which is why I think it's the most important part of the armor. In this video, we'll examine in detail the entire evolution of the armor helmet systems. Sit back and relax. If you're ready, let's begin. Chapter 1. Mark 1. Primitive but effective. The first armor, as we all know, is the Mark 1. This was an emergency armor that Tony Stark created under impossible conditions when he was taken captive. Because the armor is primitive, the design looks rough and quite bulky. Looking at the helmet's features, this helmet is heavy and bulletproof. It also has metal holes to protect Tony Stark's eyes. It doesn't have the HUD system found in other armors. Tony is just watching his surroundings with the naked eye here. Besides this, it has simple holes to protect against flamethrower attacks. Being the first armor, this metal helmet doesn't have an opening and closing mechanism. So we can call this a war tank. Definitely no comfort, technologically very behind, but the purpose here was simply to survive. Chapter 2. Mark 2 and 3. Mechanical Revolution. Now we can talk about the first real Iron Man design. Sit back, this was a really sleek armor. The most important feature of this armor was that it had JARVIS, artificial intelligence. Coming to the helmet, for the first time we encountered a mechanical opening and closing mechanism in this armor. It was truly an incredible moment when we first saw this. It had a silver, unpainted color. Tony Stark hadn't gotten to the coloring process yet. Mark III helmet mechanism. The most important feature of this Iron Man helmet is that such a mechanism is very difficult to make in real life because the parts need to move without friction. In this helmet, which works with a 3-hinge system, the face lifted upward while the chin part dropped down. Although this seems like a simple system, it's actually a serious mechanical system. At the same time, Jarvis receives 3 different types of information based on Tony's movements and presents them both visually and audibly. The interesting part is that Tony could operate this system not only vocally, but also with eye movements. This was revolutionary in that sense. Chapter 3. Mark 42. Piece-by-piece arrival system. I call this armor the trauma armor, because Tony Stark designed it when he would wake up in the middle of the night with high anxiety and suddenly need such an armor. Coming to the armor's helmet features, the biggest revolution here was having a piece-by-piece assembly. All the materials and parts here would come and attach themselves to Tony Stark's body. I think this was definitely one of the most exciting scenes for the audience in the Iron Man series. The complex appearance and opening mechanism here is the biggest feature that sets this helmet apart from others. Especially the chin part would slide forward approximately 2.5 centimeters, and then it had a foldable feature upward. At the same time, when closing, this situation was the opposite. First, the chin closes, then it descends toward the face. And let me give you a very interesting piece of information. Even with today's technology in real life, making this mechanism is nearly impossible because there's little space between the parts, and there are intersection points on the cheek with every rotating movement, making this impossible. So even today, in 2025, we still haven't reached Tony Stark's technology. Chapter 4. Mark 50 Nanotech Era. Mark 50 was the first fully nanotech armor we saw in Infinity War. The entire armor was made up of nanobots emerging from Tony's chest arc reactor unit. Helmet mechanism. Matter manipulation. Mark 50's helmet no longer worked with mechanical parts. Pure nanotech. Even motorized replica helmet models containing 11 servos are being made. The helmet can operate in 2 modes. Helmet opening mode, where only the front parts retract, and suit opening mode, where 7 parts retract. In the original film, nanobots flow and shape themselves around Tony's facial features, Full protection is provided within seconds. Can repair itself when damaged. Appearance is completely smooth and flawless. In Mark 50, Friday replaced Jarvis. The HUD system became much more minimalist and context-aware. Unnecessary information wasn't shown. Information only appeared as needed for the moment. Chapter 5, Mark 85, the final and most advanced. Mark 85 is Tony Stark's final and most advanced armor. He used it in Endgame in 2023. It had a much more durable and efficient nanostructure compared to Mark 50. Design differences. Unlike Mark 50's single-piece, multi-layered design, Mark 85 had a segmented design, separate armor pieces. The helmet forms piece by piece from the arc reactor and fits onto the body. Special helmet features. Segmented deployment, faster donning/removal. Limited deployment mode. When stealth was required, only certain parts of the helmet could be opened. For example, for clear vision, only the faceplate would lift and deform. 15 RT repulsor technology units. 14 micro RTs and the main heart-shaped RT on the chest. Foreign object integration function. Could integrate the Infinity Stones into the armor. Thanks to this function, Tony was able to take the Infinity Stones from the Nano Gauntlet into his own armor's right glove and experience that famous "and I am Iron Man" moment. Chapter 6. HUD systems. Things you missed. The most important feature common to all these helmets. HUD systems. Anatomy of the HUD. At the bottom of the HUD, there were 5 constantly visible icons: armor status, targeting and optics, radar, artificial horizon, and map. HUD designer Jace Hansen says that each HUD element must have a specific purpose. Viewers will never know the entire backstory, but they'll feel it's right as long as the elements are designed purposefully. Interactive features. The HUD had object recognition capability. When Tony looked at cars in his garage, a complex targeting reticle would appear on each one, and within seconds, the car's profile and information would be displayed. Most importantly, Jarvis had the ability to manage all these graphics and modes seamlessly in real time. Tony would never request a specific screen. It would just happen. This is the greatest proof of powerful artificial intelligence. Interesting detail. In the first HUD scene in the Iron Man movie, when Tony says, "Engage heads-up display," we see both the first-person view, from Tony's eyes, and the second-person view, Tony's face inside the huge helmet with floating graphics around it. The second-person view is actually a cinematic device. There's no such thing in reality, but it's a great way to show the HUD to the audience. And there you have it, the incredible evolution of Iron Man helmets. From Mark 1's primitive metal protector to Mark 85's nanotech marvel, each helmet reflects both Tony Stark's technological genius and the evolution of his character. Which is your favorite helmet? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Should we examine Iron Man's weapon systems or flight mechanics in the next video? You decide.